Yeah, hello guys, it's a sad day for Google Stadia. Google just announced that they're shutting down internal games development for Google Stadia. So all the internal development team has been axed. Welcome to the show, GVETech. I'm GVETech. Let's get to it. I don't know if you know what this is. This is something called Google Daydream. It was developed by Google a couple of years ago for VR, and now it's like a brick right now because Google scrapped this project. And Google seems to have a habit of doing that. They scrap projects once they feel that they're not getting any traction in terms of customer acceptance. They just scrap it. There's actually a website that's dedicated to all the projects that Google has scrapped in the past. It's called Killed by Google. Literally, I kid you not. You can Google it yourself. That's a pun. So this is basically a glorified Visor now, and I'm afraid that that might be the way the Google Stadia gaming platform would be going. Yesterday, Google announced that on their blog that they were gonna stop doing internal development for games. This was something they invested heavily into because one of the issues that most people had, like myself, with Google Stadia was the lack of internal AAA games. First-party AAA games because exclusives, because that's what drives me as a gamer. When I was trying to get my PS4, the reason I got PS4 was solely because of fighting games and Street Fighter 5 in particular, because that was the only console that's the only console that has it. So, in as much as you say, okay, AAA games don't really mean anything, but for some people, exclusives actually drive them to a console. You can't get Mario anywhere else other than Nintendo. So if you want to play modern Mario games, you'll be forced to get a Nintendo Switch, which is their most recent console. So also, it will affect Stadia. Stadia has old games on there. When it came out, I got the first, I subscribed, although it was a long waiting list because I wasn't the first to be there. There was so much rush about it. I got in there and I tried it for it was 3 months. I tried it for 3 months. It was slow. I didn't really like the games on there. I think I played a racing game and another platform game, but that was it for me. So it wasn't really my cup of tea. I went back to my PS4 and I've been grinding on there, and I also went on to get a Nintendo Switch while Stadia was still in the background. But a couple of months ago, 2 months ago to be precise, Google sent me a free Stadia kit to test, and it was okay. But then I had issues with my internet connection, and I have really fast fiber optic broadband, and there were still issues. So that brings me to the things that I feel are crippling Stadia as a gaming platform. They have said that they're no longer going to do exclusives or do any games, develop any games in-house. They're going to focus on third-party games, working with people to use their platform. So you could go to a Sony or a Microsoft or any game developers and say, okay, you know what? We have a platform to deliver streaming games for you. So you can ride on that backbone of our infrastructure, and then they can do that for a fee or an agreement or a contract or whatever. But in terms of actually developing games, that's stopped. So for me, that's a big deal because it deters people from getting into the Stadia ecosystem. So what do you advise people to do if they want to get a Stadia console or get into Stadia as for gaming? Because there's no certainty now that this platform is going to be here for the next 12 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. So what happens to all the investment, all the time, all the funds people have put in to buy those games? Does it all end up in the Killed by Google website as just a statistic? So it is what it is. But my heart goes out to the about 150 developers are currently out of the job now. And you know what the current situation is like. Things are tough, things are hard with everything going on from 2020 into 2021. But Google has said that they are going to work internally to try and look for roles for these developers. So hopefully it works out for everyone. I have 4 reasons why I feel Stadia as a gaming platform isn't working or didn't work. So the first one is lack of AAA exclusive games. I've talked about it moments ago, so that is it. So a AAA exclusive game is key. We've seen Sony do it, we've seen Xbox do it. There's some games that are specific to those platforms. We've seen Nintendo do it time and time again. So if you want to pull people to your console, to your platform, you have to have exclusive AAA games that they can only get from you. So that should be your number one unique selling point, and Stadia just didn't have that. Number two is the internet connectivity barrier. So for some people in the UK, in Europe, and some people in America, North America, Canada, even I think Mexico, internet infrastructure is quite okay. So they have access to use Stadia because it actually takes up a chunk of internet usage. Believe me, it does. And if your internet access is capped, then you are at a disadvantage. So it's really a no-brainer for you to say, you know what, I'm just going to invest these funds on a box and a real console I can see and plug on, and I play games anytime I want, regardless of if it takes me 30 minutes or 1 hour to get an update or patch. So that's the thing. Internet access was a barrier, especially for developing countries. So you have people in Asia, you have Africa, that this thing is not even going to get near. So that's an issue. Even Australia doesn't have fast enough internet access for Stadia to work smoothly there. I've had people from Australia say that. So internet access was a barrier, or is continuing to be a barrier. So until internet infrastructure elevates to that level where you can say, okay, Stadia's architecture can go hand in hand with it smoothly, then it's if that doesn't happen, it's still going to be a barrier. The other thing would be Stadia's proposition in terms of business model. So the business model is flawed. I don't have the answer to what the right business model will be for a game streaming platform, but what they're doing right now is flawed. And here's how it is. Everyone thought that Stadia would be, Stadia was basically perceived to be the Netflix of gaming, but it turned out not to be so. So you pay $10 a month to play some games, but exclusive games are sold at the same price as you have them on other consoles, and you can't play them except you continue to subscribe. So if you're coming with a gamer's mindset, that doesn't work. It might work for video, it might work for music, for Netflix, because I'm on Netflix, I'm on Amazon Prime or whatever. So you have free content, but there's some movies or shows that you have to pay for. But then it's not like you're paying $90 or you're paying 60 pounds for a movie. But then you have these games, old games 2 years old, games that have come out 3 years, and they're still being sold at the top price. You would say, okay, you know what, if you want to make people come to your platform, why not slash the prices, and then have people come in there. And it's a chicken and egg situation. So developers don't want to develop for a platform that they know their games would not be played and they won't make money. At the same time, Google Stadia needs to have people come on the platform. So the only way you can get that to happen is by modifying your value proposition, your business model. So as it is now, it's not really good, it's flawed. So it's going to be a barrier to people getting there, and it's affecting Stadia drastically. The last reason why I think Stadia is not working or did not work is bad marketing. Seriously, bad marketing. In the UK, I can tell you, I didn't see an advert of Stadia. I didn't see anything. There's nothing. It's basically dead. So if you're not a hardcore gamer or you keep up with tech news, you would not know that Google has a gaming platform at all. Bad marketing, and where they did market online, they overpromised and eventually underdelivered. So that has left a bad taste in people's mouths. Even they are die-hard defenders of Stadia. Even now at this point, they are becoming skeptical, because it's like, okay, if Google is losing faith in their own platform, what gives third-party developers confidence that they will be in it for the long haul? So those are the things that have affected it. I just hope that Stadia doesn't end up like my Google Daydream VR headset I showed earlier. It's just gonna be sad, because it's gonna be hard for Google to come up with something that is revolutionary and have people believe in them. This happened to the Google Glass, this happened to Google Plus, now it's happening to Google Stadia. So it's not a good look, but we'll still keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully Google can turn this around. They have the money, they have the tech, they have all it takes to do it. They just need to get their act straight. So that's it from me, GVETech. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Until the next time, be safe.